In addition to copying flawed definitions from the court stayed WOTUS rule, the SPR, or the Stream Protection Rule, simply duplicates existing regulations and programs from other agencies. Even in Washington, a city known for ego and turf wars, the Stream Protection Rule is a shameless attempt by OSM to take over the roles of the EPA, the Army Corps of Engineers, and most egregiously, states as primary protector of water. The rule-making process behind the SPM, or Surface Protection Stream Protection Rule, exposes the pursuit to more about extending the agency's bureaucratic reach than improving the environmental performance. Now, Ms. Schneider, as I said before, coal mining supports 4,000 jobs in my state, which are threatened by this onerous rule. So how can OSM officials justify such a politically motivated and scientifically questionable rule that is clearly more about protecting your job in Washington than improving the quality of life for everyday Americans?
There is no intent or provision in the proposed rule that would take over the EPA program, the Corps program, or state programs. I do think that there's been some confusion about our proposed definition of material damage to the hydrologic balance and what that would require. I think that.
And do you see why there's that confusion?
Well, you know, I think that this is what this process is all about. You know, we put something out on the street, we're getting good comments back on that. But you know, the states under our proposed rule, if it goes final, the states will have plenty of flexibility to tailor to tailor the rule to their specific needs.
Well, I'm glad you went that way because this is really important to my constituents. So can you tell me how many times you personally met with leaders and families from actual coal-producing regions to hear their concerns?
I cannot give you today an actual number, but I have been on numerous trips to coal country. I used to actually represent Arizona Public Service Company, so I understand.
Well, no wonder.
I understand very well.
For that part, I'm asking for your.
Well, but what I'm saying is I have worked with coal miners in my private capacity, where I was.
But that's a little bit different than what it is under your current capacity.
But it does inform how I think, frankly.
Well, but you have a different hat on, don't you?
Well, I do have a regulator's hat on, but I do understand the importance of high-wage jobs to rural
give that to you.
communities.
So
sir, if I might finish, I have been to Appalachia, I've been down to West Virginia, I've been to Kentucky, I've been to Colorado, I've been to Wyoming, and I'm planning a bunch more trips. I do want to make sure that we get this right, and on each of those trips, I meet with multiple coal miners.
I got a limited amount of time, so let me redefine that a little bit.
Sure.
So, any public comment hearings that you actually occurred in coal country that you participated on or hosted?
Yes, sir. I was actually in Gillette, Wyoming, earlier this summer for listening sessions on coal-related issues.
Okay. Are you prepared to assure me and members of this committee that the rule that the OSM finalizes will not lead to further job losses and economic hardship in my coal-producing communities?
We are going to take public comment on the rule. We're going to get a better understanding of that. I do want to make sure that we have a fair and balanced rule that will protect jobs and also adequately protect the environment.
Okay, so tell me how that works in Indian country. Tell me how you're going to, when this goes into effect, you're actually going to kill the only aspect that actually is a good producing job. Well, what are you going to do for that?
Well, as you know, OSM already directly regulates in Indian country. So the big coal producing nations are Navajo, Hopi, and the Crow, and you know we will work with them. I mean, just as we, as you know, there have been some recent numerous approvals, or not numerous, but there have been recent approvals to allow the Four Corners power plant and that Navajo and the adjacent mine to move forward and to expand. And so I think the department is very mindful of jobs, and in particular of jobs in Indian communities.
Well, but when you take a look at the effect of this rule, along with the Clean Power Rule, along with all the rest of the regulations going forward, so you can mine coal, you won't be able to burn it. I mean, it's a very, combustible type of atmosphere that you're producing here. And so I think you mentioned maybe well, but, you're overstepping your boundaries. And that's just like EPA on a number of their aspects. They've been hauled into court, and they've been stayed. And I would hope that you would learn from the mistakes, the past mistakes of this administration and rescind this rule. And I yield back. Thank you very much.
The chair now recognizes